Do you get a lot of sugar cravings? Do you have a sweet tooth? Do you constantly think about sugar? If someone put a bowl of candy in front of you, would you go through the whole thing in the next 30 minutes? If that's you, this video is specific for you. You're probably wondering, am I giving myself diabetes? Is this gonna hurt me? Why do I crave so much sugar? The answer is manyfold, and it can be very, very complicated. What I want you to understand is that your body needs to sustain its level of energy, and blood sugar is one of those. Glucose is how sugar breaks down into the molecule it breaks down into in the body, and glucose fuels the brain and the body. And glucose is sometimes stored in glycogen, which is stored in your liver and in your muscles. So when you start working out, you start to convert the glycogen into glucose and burn it as fuel, and then you tap into the liver sources. And when that sugar runs out, your body is supposed to convert into fat burn mode and start using some of the fat. It uses the concept called gluconeogenesis, where it actually starts to convert the fat to sugar, and then it feeds your body. Now, if you fast for a long time, then your body needs a different source of fuel, which is ketones. That's what ketosis is. And the ketogenic diet is where you don't eat sugar for a long period of time, days and days, 3, 4, 5 days of no sugar, and your body goes into ketosis. It starts to use ketones. Ketones are smaller molecules that can cross the blood-brain barrier, and they kind of feed your body with fuel just like sugar does, and there's different benefits to that. But one of the things you may want to do is do a long fast, and then start to reintroduce carbohydrates and see if your body handles that. The biggest sugar cravings are because your blood sugar crashed. It is not normal to get lightheaded when you're hungry. It is not normal to have an emotional response when you get hungry, like anger or depression or anxiety. Hunger should just be hunger. Hunger should not cause weakness. So if you're experiencing those things, when you go several hours without eating and you start to feel weak, tired, faint, emotional, angry, that's not normal. You've got a blood sugar issue, and that needs to be balanced. Sometimes medication is necessary when it comes to that. Supplementation may be necessary. There are supplements that help increase insulin sensitivity and stabilize blood sugar in the body. I don't want to get into the supplements right now at this point, but exercise is a great one. Exercise increases your insulin sensitivity. So here's how insulin works. Insulin gets released the minute you taste something sweet. So this could solve some of your problems right now, because what happens if you put something sweet on your tongue, your brain says, oh, sugar's coming. Let's release some insulin. Well, it talks to your pancreas right here, and the pancreas releases the insulin. The insulin goes to all the insulin receptors. We just talked about them. Liver and muscles, they all have insulin receptors. So basically it goes and starts knocking on the door. Hey, wake up, sugar's coming. That's what insulin does, right? And then those receptors wake up, the insulin hits the receptor, they pull the sugar out of your blood into the muscle and into the liver and form glycogen, and then what's left over they convert to fat and store it into your probably midsection where your spare tire is. That's what insulin does. What happens though is some people say sugar is bad, and so I'm only gonna drink sugar-free drinks, and I'm gonna eat sugar-free chocolate and sugar-free ice cream and sugar-free candy, and I know they exist. The problem with those things is that they still taste sweet. And remember I told you, insulin gets released when you taste the sweet. So here's what's gonna happen. Let's say I drink a sugar-free, zero-calorie soda. My brain tells my pancreas sugar's coming because the tongue tasted sweet. And this insulin gets released by the pancreas. The insulin goes to all the receptors in the liver and the muscles and starts knocking on the door. Hey, wake up, sugar's coming. Guess what? There's no sugar because this was a sugar-free drink I just drank. And so those receptors that just got woken up start to say, I'm going to ignore that insulin next time it knocks on my door. And so this person keeps drinking sugar-free drinks, sugar-free sodas and candy or whatever it is. And there's no sugar in it, there's no calories in it. And eventually when insulin gets released, the receptors ignore it. That's called insulin resistance. This is why beginning in 1990, 1991, when sugar-free products were invented, because before that time, before 30 years ago, there was no such thing as a sugar-free drink. That was invented because they thought sugar is bad. And so when they took the sugar out, cases of diabetes, new cases of diabetes tripled year over year beginning in 1991. This is according to the CDC. So when we're getting more and more new cases of diabetes, it's because more people are becoming insulin insulin resistance, these are type 2 diabetics. And it's because we're drinking more and more sugar-free stuff, and we thought we were helping ourselves, but we're not. And so one of the things you have to do is stop drinking the sugar-free stuff. It's not as good for you. If you're gonna drink something that tastes sweet, it should have calories and it should have sugar, so you don't confuse your body and confuse your system. That's the main thing. That's the most important thing. Get some exercise in. You'll notice, let's say you get a little hungry and you start to get emotional and angry, go for a long walk, 20 minutes, walk fast, and your body will flip into fat burn mode and it'll start to replenish some of that glycogen in your blood. You'll feel better. So every time you get hungry and weak, do some kind of exercise. One exercise I really like is Dr. Zach Bush. He's a medical doctor. He created a workout called the 4-minute workout. You can do this in 4 minutes. The minute you get hungry, do the 4-minute workout and then eat your lunch or eat your dinner. Do it right before you eat. You'll notice your insulin sensitivity goes up and you'll use that food much better to replace glycogen and not turn into fat. So those are just some of the solutions for you. I hope this is helpful. Comment, ask questions, share the video. Let me know what you think. Please subscribe to our channel and we'll talk again soon.